There's always a lot of things we can work on. I thought they caught the ball well. We didn't have any drops. One of the things is we've got to do, better job of playing fast throughout the game. I thought there were some plays that we looked slow, and yet there were some times we looked pretty fast. The consistency really from there is where I think we need to get a little bit better.
Is that an effort thing, or is that just?
No,
okay.
no, I don't think so. I think, from a rotation standpoint, obviously getting Oliver and Ronnie in there, more. And I thought, the little bit that they did get in, they proved that the game wasn't too big for them. I'm excited about that, being able to, get those guys rotated.
What did Ronnie do in camp to kind of earn that spot as a freshman playing?
He did a really good job of attacking kind of the playbook. Really the hardest thing for guys sometimes that are young is maintain how fast you can play when your mind is spinning. And I thought he did a really good job. I thought Roy Roundtree did an outstanding job with him kind of in one-on-one settings to where he can go get lined up and play fast. So,
Jim, when you talk about rotations, you want them to speed up a little bit, but I mean, are guys processing at a fast enough rate that you'd like?
No, I'm
reacting kind of on the field?
I was, as far as like the assignment piece, and obviously technically there's always things to clean up, doesn't matter when, but assignment-wise we were pretty darn good.
I've heard a lot about releases, and you guys working with receivers and improving. Where have you seen the improvement from, spring until now?
I thought we had pretty good separation throughout the game. It's something you work on every single day, and our guys, I think, have seen the importance of it. You can't catch it if you're not open. So, number one most important thing is how do we get open, and I think they've responded well to, being conscious of gaining separation.
Was that something that maybe was a weak spot when you got here? Did you see that?
I don't know that. It's just something we focus on, in our everyday drills. And when you put your musts on the board at the receiver position, the number one must is get open.
How has Nico Collins grown since you came in?
He was tall to begin with. But,
As a player.
No, I know. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was. I mean, just ting. You just served it up. But, I think his understanding of what, why, and how has been pretty darn good. I guess I say his assignment grade was really good in this game, which tells me he did a good job of preparation. Now we just got to continue that. But he's obviously going to get a lot of reps, so he needs to maintain that throughout.
Where can we improve?
I would say that for everybody. Where can't they improve, right? You can always improve on something. His, like I said, technically he played pretty darn good, from a grade standpoint. I think there was, a couple things that they showed that maybe we just need to continue to adjust to and go back to your training. Overall, I thought he played pretty decent.
When you lose Tariq that close to the game,
Yeah.
I mean, how I guess jarring is it for you to then start rotating reps, or maybe somebody else has to then pick up
Well,
in practice?
and I think this probably goes to your question a little bit. Obviously there was more on Nico's plate just based on that position. It also then takes some guys that need to play multiple spots a little more. I think Oliver is one of those guys that has become a guy that can play all three spots. Grant obviously was playing not only slot, but obviously, in the two wideout stuff, he was playing on the outside. So it just puts a little more on guys' plates, and yet I thought they handled it well. from a standpoint of what they, were supposed to do.
Are you planning for or anticipating a return for Tariq this season? I mean, Jim kind of left that as an open-ended question. They didn't know yet.
Sure, I think that, between the medical staff and coach, be able to answer exactly what that is.
Have you been able to enjoy being a position coach? I imagine focusing on the details a little more than you were able to the past few years.
No, it's, it's been fun. I got a really good group of guys, got a good staff to work with, both offensively and defensively. Learn every day from some of the things coach implements that you kind of say, well, boy, I wish I'd have thought of that, right? But it's been fun, and like I said, what makes it fun is you've got an eager group of wide receivers in that room that come every day to want to get a little bit better.
Is that invigorating or refreshing for you at this point?
Look, the reason that you started on this journey was to be involved in guys' lives and help them get better both on and off the field, and it's been a lot of fun.
How's Tariq's demeanor right now, and do you still talk to him every day?
Oh yeah, he's in meetings. Like I told his folks there when he was getting his stuff done, I missed his smile, and he's got a great smile, and when he wheels into the room now, that same smile is something that's important to all of us.
Jim has talked about collaboration on the offensive side of the ball for the coaches. How much input have you had in the offense so far?
I just try to stay out of the way and coach our guys.
Is it different for you? I mean, you used to being a head coach and you used to being a coordinator and everything else.
Yeah, but before then, I was taking orders, from from a lot of guys. So it's pretty easy.
Nico Collins said that he began to gain a lot of confidence this spring. Was there a point in which you saw things really turn for him? I thought tentative early. When we got here in the spring, and as his confidence grew in what, and then the how, he just seemed to play faster and faster. And I think he's a fun guy to be around. It's important to him as it is all these guys, and just to see their growth, it's kind of cool.
What was you tentative with, just understanding what you can do?
Yeah, I think, just putting it all together, and then, it goes kind of back to the teaching model of, trying to figure out how each guy learns, and then, putting your, plan together on how to reach each guy. Everybody's different. So, I guess it goes back to that. I mean, it's important to him, so I knew he goes at it 100%.
What ways do you think Nico learns in comparison to maybe Tariq or other guys you have?
Well, they all learn different. Some guys are better when you walk it. Some guys are better when they can see it on film. Some guys are better when they can read it off a piece of paper. Some guys are better, everybody learns differently. I mean, we all learn differently. So it's really goes back to your Mostyn's principles of education, right? That you figure out how they learn through different ways, and then you cater whatever you do to the individual.
How did Donovan grade out? And sorry, go ahead.
No.
How did Donovan grade out, and what did you see from him?
He graded out, good. I mean, obviously you'd like to see, I think he played too many plays. That's on me as far as being able to play fast every single down. I think there were some times, not that he was loafing, but quite honestly, he was gassed. And, we've got to do a better job of the pitch count.
Jim, the other Jim on Monday didn't rule out maybe Embry Thomas on offense. Could you see him join your group, and how quickly could he?
You know, I think everywhere we've been, if there's a guy with a skill set that can help you, it doesn't matter what position they are. I mean, like he's done it before where I think they put like 6 or 7 old linemen in there, you know, to, you know, so I think, you know, it's definitely something that can happen with anybody. Precedent's been set because I think before they did it with a pretty decent guy by the name of, was it Peppers, that did some things?
Has he worked with you yet, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, he's worked before, so, I mean,
Good.
we'll
Got
see.
time for 2 more questions?
This week?
Yeah, you just, here, let's go pin that on the Western board, right?
Coach, the younger receivers talk about Grant as a mentor. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Could you speak to?
That's cool. I'm glad they do, because that's great to hear. I think his leadership in that group has been fantastic. And, I mean, let's face it, he's a true grizzled veteran in comparison to everybody else in that room. You know, when you think, obviously, Donovan played a lot of plays, or a lot of games last year. Tariq didn't play many, I don't think, a year ago. Nico played sparingly. Oliver, I don't think, played, and Ronnie was shooting baskets and playing football on the side, right? So for him to do what he's doing, he's kind of a go-to guy. You know, he's a guy that I think has embraced that role and realizes through maybe his injury last year or whatever, when it is taken away, sometimes you really have a chance to reflect as to how important it is when you're not able to do it anymore. And I think he's used that as a way to drive all of us.
With Donovan, maybe putting too much on his plate or too many plays, I mean, was that partly a function of the weather? I mean, and how it was sort of sucking the life out of him?
Well, I think like anything, you know, obviously that piece when you lost Tariq, you know, and then adjusting into it, because he's another guy now that played multiple positions, all 3 spots. So, you know, just helping him be able to play fast.
All right, guys, we're
Thanks,
gonna move
Coach.
Coach.
Thanks,